Pioneer DJ has recently launched the DM-50D, which are the speakers you see behind me here in my home studio, which is where I've been testing them. You can probably hear I'm in quite an echoey room, which is unfortunately where I have to work at home. But these speakers have been tucked in here and I've been using them for a week or so. I'm going to give you a hands-on opinion of the new DM-50s. So the DM-50D can be seen as a follow-on to the DM-40 speakers, which have been out for quite a while now, and they do kind of improve on them in a few ways, but they are a budget monitor speaker designed for DJs and producers. So what we have around the front here is the woofer. They're front ported, and then they've got the tweeter at the top, which has got this kind of molding around it to spread the sound out a little wider to give you a more usable area. You'll notice it also has a headphone socket at the bottom, as well as that on-off switch on the front. But the other speaker has none of those switches or sockets. The other speaker is just a secondary speaker to the primary speaker, which is the first one that you're looking at there. So these are pseudo real monitors, if you know what I mean. When you buy standalone monitors that cost more money, they are two individual units, their own power supply and so on. And that's not what you're getting here. What you're getting here is one speaker that's got all that stuff in, and the other one that just connects to it via standard speaker cable. And indeed, there's just speaker terminal ports on the back, which we're going to look at in a second in order for you to do that. So around the back, there is a switch to switch from DJ mode to production mode. We'll talk about that in a second. You get inputs for TRS, RCA, and stereo mini, an extra stereo mini input in the back there, which is nice. It's nice to see that variation there, so you can plug lots of stuff in. You get output there, as I was telling you, that you just stick standard kind of like bell wire speaker cable that's in the box to connect to the other speaker into those two terminals. There's the on-off, and then there is a AC input there. The transformer is on board, which is nice to see. Not always the case with speakers at this end of the market. And you can see at the back here the cable that I unplugged in order to turn the speaker around. This is the cable that's provided with it, so you can wire it over to the other speaker. 25 watt class D amplification in these, and then literally around the back of the other speaker, all you have is that input. You know, these sound really good. We've had them set up here for a week or so. As you can see, my little home studio corner is tiny, and they're maybe a little bit big for the size of desk I've got. But that said, they're front ported, which means you can have them rounding corners and against the wall. And the all important sound quality, they're really punchy, they're really loud, and they're really clear. I've got nothing to complain about with the sound quality. The little switch on the back for DJ mode and production mode is, I don't want to say it's marketing talk. I couldn't hear an awful lot of difference. It's meant to give you a bit of a boost in the bass if you're producing with these, as opposed to if you're DJing with them, as opposed to if you're producing when you want a nice flat audio signal. You know, I'm not in the best room for auditioning speakers for the finer points of how well tuned the bass is and so on, because it's quite a big living room that I have to work in. And I suspect most people using them will be in a similar position where they're not in a ideal music studio where this kind of little thing will make much difference. So really, that little switch at the back, nice to have. But frankly, when you're spending this amount of money on speakers, you're not getting studio quality, flat frequency response, no matter what switches they put on the back. But look, don't let that put you off. For the money, these are a really nice speaker. Their amplification is good. The audio quality is good, the drivers are good, the dissipation works well. There's a nice sweet stereo area. They're well built, MDF, and they're nicely finished as well. They're a good follow-on to the MD40s. And apart from the size, because even though they're a home speaker, they're not tiny, apart from the size, if you can fit these on the DJ table, DJ surface, or the production workstation where you want to use them, so you're already in the market for a speaker about this kind of size, there's nothing at all wrong with the Pioneer DJ DM-50D speakers, the replacement for the DM-40. Full review over on digitaldjtips.com. If you've enjoyed this, become our latest member. It's free. And we'll see you again very soon.